Namaskar. When I first began going to the ashram in Birmingham, when I first got meditated, there were some changes happening. Some people were leaving, and there was a brother, his name was Shivam, and he had decided to go to India for Acharya training. And he and I were living together in the ashram, and he left. And he left me with the meditation classes, which he and another individual had been teaching at the Episcopal Church there in Birmingham. And I was doing that and coming home. And one night I was sleeping, and I had a Baba dream, my first Baba dream. And in the dream, I was floating in space, watching the formation of the solar system and watching the formation of the Earth coming into being. And I saw it when it became solid in form, and I saw it forming the oceans, and then I saw that there was photosynthesis and on the land, and there was green on the land. It was a primitive Earth, but it was the Earth. And then my mind began to rise, and I left this area, and I went into a realm, and I began hearing this most beautiful music that you can imagine. And then I woke from this dream. And shortly thereafter, on another night, I was sleeping, and then I had another dream. And in this dream, I was in Colorado, near Denver, at the center there on Pearl Street, and all the Margis had gone to a mountaintop, and I went with them, and we went to this mountaintop, and every one there went and collected a stone about this big, and everyone came with their stones, and they piled them up in a pile on the ground. It was about this high of stones. And then we began doing circular kirtan around these stones, and we were singing Bhavanam Kevalam in kirtan around these stones. And very soon the stones began to get hot, and then the stones began to glow red, and then they became on fire, and these stones was a burning fire. And we continued in this dream doing kirtan around these burning stones. And then a voice came out of the stones and spoke to a person, and they heard Baba's voice coming from the fire, and it was like, and then it would come to the next person in line and speak to them, and would come to the next person in line and speak to them, and come to the next person in line and speak to them, but I couldn't hear the voice. But when the voice came to me, I heard it clearly, and it was the first time that I'd ever heard the voice of Anandamurti. It was his voice, and he said, "Keep your sword to the throat of injustice, that not a single individual shall be enslaved." And with that, I woke, and it really affected me. It really affected me very deeply. And it wasn't until later that I was at a national retreat, and I heard Baba's voice on a tape recording, and I said, "Yeah, I've heard that voice before. I've heard that voice before." Namaskar. I'm going, I think that, the mysticism of an individual is pretty personal, and I'm not sure if it should really be shared that much. But I want to share with you one other story with Baba. Sometime. Okay. Not now. Bye bye.